Thank you, Marcus. Thank you for the introduction. As Marcus said, my name is Tom Conway Gordon. I'm 37 years old. I've been in the UAE since late 2008. I work in an international public relations agency, and I love what I do. I like my life in Dubai. It's pretty good. I'm a pretty happy guy. But things weren't always so good in my life. So what I want to talk to you today about is about how to handle yourself when some things don't always go your way. Some things go bad things happen, things we can't control. Because life isn't always about rainbows and unicorns. It's not always about glitz and glamour and champagne and fast cars. Well, it depends what industry you're in, I must say. But so I just wanted to give you some of my experience and some of the challenges I've faced and how to overcome them. So the first thing that usually happens when something goes bad, we make an anxious prediction. We make anxious predictions. So what is an anxious prediction? Well, an anxious prediction usually comes when you, just the moment after you have that kind of sensation. You suddenly made a mistake. You sent an email to your boss when you not meant to send it to him. You suddenly found out how drunk you got and embarrassed you last night, and someone's told you all the heinous things you've done. Suddenly, the world's going to end. You leap to massive, ridiculous conclusions about the worst thing's going to happen. Oh God, I'm going to lose my job. God, my wife's going to find out. Oh no, I'll never work in this town again. The cops are going to come and find me. So why does this really happen? This happens because adrenaline, that old friend adrenaline, yes, that guy. That's what happens when it comes flooding through your system. There's not much you can do. You can't punch anyone in the face. It's not be a good idea. You can't run away. So that kind of nervous energy channels into your mind. And it just kind of runs away with itself. These thoughts I've always found are pretty useless. You suddenly think, you're leaping to these conclusions, your mind train is like a locomotive surging on adrenaline, firing off into all sorts of silly, dark ravines inside your mind, and you don't want to do that. Best thing to do is kind of try and step off that train and watch those thoughts go by, and instead of because you're full of energy, you've got all this energy flying through your system, use that energy positively, and rather kind of beat yourself up and, oh God, the world's going to end, all that sort of stuff. Try and step aside, step back, and use that energy in that time to think about how you're going to get yourself out of this pickle. How are you going to make this error you've made better? And ultimately, kind of rechannel that energy into a more positive way of thinking. The second thing I used to do was I used to give myself a hard time a lot. For some reason, in my late 20s, my 20s as a whole, I used to think I wasn't good enough. I'm not sure what I was good enough to be or not to be, but I just wasn't good enough. I didn't think that, everything I did had to be excellent. I really had to be the best. I had to be the funniest guy at the party. Everything I did in my work had to be, all the copy I wrote had to be Pulitzer Prize winning. When I was in a brainstorm, it had to be the best ideas that kind of put Einstein to shame. And what I soon learned is that I was setting myself up to fall. I just raised the bar so high that, I was doing everything I could to get up there, but naturally you're going to fall. Naturally you're going to, you can't be amazing in everything you do. Tempting as it is, there are things you kind of have to want to pick your battles and know you're going to succeed at, and you can reward yourself for those. But by setting the bar so high, I was setting myself up to fall. And that necessarily invites more negativity. And that kind of negativity that often goes with anxious predictions. You in yourself fall into a kind of vicious cycle of like negativity. There's 7 billion people on this planet, believe it or not. They're all happily ready to step up and give you a hard time, tell you you've screwed up. Oh, you really shouldn't have done that, Phil. Marcus, you're an idiot for doing that. What were you thinking? Don't be one of those people. Don't be one of them. Let other people do that, but don't turn on yourselves and give yourself a hard time. Ultimately, you want to be happy. Try and be content. And this took me a long time to get to grips with, being content and happy in my own skin. I was constantly questioning myself about this and constantly querying that. Oh, am I good enough? Should I have done this? No. Everyone here is incredible. You're all incredible. I'm incredible. You're incredible, Bex. Matt certainly thinks so. And so you're all incredible. So look at yourself in a very positive light. Don't look at yourself. Don't kind of look at the flaws. Ignore them. We all have flaws, but are they really flaws, or are they flaws in other people's eyes? No, usually other people's eyes. So try to keep positive in yourself. And really admire the person who looks back at you in the mirror. Admire him or her. think, yeah, he's a good guy. She's a good person. Don't kind of think, oh, God, I look awful today. Oh, my hair's a mess. Oh, I've got this big presentation. I haven't prepared for it. I'm rubbish. How am I going to handle it? It's all a load of rubbish. Don't think like that. Really try not to. Also, listen to your gut. If it feels good to you, it's a good thing. Your gut is the most important thinking tool in your body. Not this, not that I've found. That helps sometimes. But the gut really is the one that tells you the real truth. Really knows what you're on about. So never mind what anyone else thinks. It's none of your business what anyone else thinks. That's their business. If they think, Flanders, you're a rubbish coach, that's their business. You're not a rubbish coach, by the way, as far as I've been told. So in summary, step aside from negative, unhelpful thoughts. Let them go by. Get off that kind of negative train of, oh God, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. No, leave it behind. Use that energy that's coursing through your body to think positively. Well, how are you going to make that mistake? They're not going to make that mistake again. But remember, mistakes are good. We learn from mistakes. If we don't make mistakes, we don't learn. If we don't learn anything, what are we doing? We're just on a static plane. We might as well retreat back into the primordial ooze if we're not learning anything. We've got this incredible body and mind. Mistakes are good. Feel free to make them. But don't give yourself a hard time. If you're not happy with yourself, you're not content, what are the steps that are going to make you content? What are the things you want to do that, well, it might be a glass of wine, a chocolate bar, quick jog around the park, a marathon, 7 marathons across the desert and Marathon des Sables, like some of you crazy people are doing here. Good luck with that, by the way. So, take steps to be content. Make sure they're achievable steps. People will set you up. Use the people around you to help you take those steps and achieve them. But again, be careful about setting the bar too high. I'm not going to go downstairs and suddenly bash out a 200-kilogram back squat. No, I might do that in 3 years' time, maybe. But again, it's about having that kind of realistic and achievable goals. The last thing I want to say is smile at the person in the mirror. They'll smile right back at you. Very much.